Good morning. It's Lisa from Lisa Heal Yourself. And today I want to ask you a question, and that is, where are you trying to be perfect in your life? Where are you trying to get it right and trying to get it perfect? Where are you still doing this? Where is the pressure coming from? Okay, so I really want you to think about this question. It's very important. You might be doing tasks throughout the day. You might have a basic to-do list. You might have healing as your basic task. You might have other work as your basic task. But where are you putting the pressure on yourself to get it right? And I mean every little thing, like it needs to be this way. I want it to live up to this ideal in my mind. So where are you trying to either go through a to-do list, to heal yourself in your relationships, in anything that you're doing? Where are you trying to get it right? And right is abstract, right? For you, maybe even. You just know it has to be right. It has to live up to this ideal that you have in your head, right? And you just feel if it's not going to be that way, it's not going to be good enough. And if it's not going to be good enough, it's like a failure. You're a failure. It's a disaster, right? You're a failure. You haven't been able to meet your own standards in your own mind. And there's this pressure to get it right and to have it a certain way and to live up to your internal vision or ideal of what you think is the right way and how you think it should be. And ask yourself, I want you to really dig here. Why? Why is that standard important? Right? Why does it have to be that way? Why is that important? Right? There's always a reason. It's not like, oh, I want to get this right because it's the only way. It's like, I want to get this right because I have this feeling that if I get it right, if I get it perfect, if I feel good about it, if it lives up to my standards and my vision, then I will have succeeded. And if it doesn't, then I will be a failure. I will have failed. Right? And who puts that standard in your mind? Right? Who raised that bar for you? Was it your parents? Do you hear your mom's voice or your dad's voice? Judgment from other people? Do you hear people, you have to keep up to a certain level, be a certain way in order to get approval, or in order to get love, or in order to feel like someone's proud of you, or you did a good job, or like you're accepted and valued and important? Because I promise you that if you go to great lengths to make yourself sick and work yourself into the ground to make something perfect so that it can meet your ideal standards or vision in your mind, once you attain that, looking at it won't feel so perfect anymore, right? It'll just feel like another thing, like, oh, what's next? What's the next thing that I have to do perfect or right in order to be accepted, in order to be loved, in order to be valued? Because that is what we're actually seeking. It's not the actual thing that you think it is. And I know you're sitting there right now thinking, but it is the thing. If only this, if only this, if only I could get this perfect or this right or be this way or do this one thing, then I would feel so good and nothing else would bother me, right? Like I don't have to prove anything else, just this one thing. But that's not true. You're going to, once you get to that thing, that accomplishment or that way of being is just going to fall by the wayside. Ask yourself how many times this has happened before in your life, right? You've accomplished things, you've gotten things, you've worked hard at things, you've done all these things, right? And as soon as it happens, it falls by the wayside and you're right back on course looking for the next thing to accomplish, to get right, to be another way. You're looking for another way to show that you're good enough, that you're perfect. And you're looking for a way to reflect this to the world so that the world will look back at you and say, yes, you're good enough. This is amazing. You're so successful. Look up to you. They will value you. They will respect you. They will feel, you will feel those feelings. But this isn't the way it works, right? And so this is why we're continually seeking this. And the drive to get it right, the drive to be perfect, the drive to live up to these standards and these ideals in our mind that weren't truly even put there by us. They were put there by, and we were molded by teachers, parents, friends, society, right? We were molded into a certain way of being and thinking, and that this is the standard, this is it. And if only I can live up to this, then I will have gotten it right. And if I got it right, I will be loved. I'll be accepted. I'll be admired. Someone will be proud of me. So, this is the conundrum that we get ourselves in. And we really, literally, will work ourselves to the bone in order to get these little things perfect, right? From doing your to-do list perfectly, to hosting the perfect dinner party, to, whatever it is, these little things, all the jobs and tasks that you have, and work, and being the best parent, and being this and being that, and dressing a certain way, or whatever it is for you. Not everybody has the same things that are important on their list, but whatever that little voice in your head is, and it probably comes back from your parents, how you were raised, whatever that little voice in your head that says, this is the ideal, this is the standard, right, to live up to. And if you're not attaining that, then this feeling like a failure is too much for us. So that's why we keep seeking and keep doing. But the problem is, in the doing, we're wearing ourselves down and out, right? Because you're always busying yourself. It's never quite good enough. You could clean your house to the most perfectionistic way, and someone's coming over, and you will see something out of place. It wasn't perfect, right? You can be doing a painting. You can paint for weeks, months on a painting, and then you just look at it and you think, if only there was just this little bit more that I could do, right? There's all these little things in our lives that if there was just one more thing, we could get it right. But that thing is not real, okay? And we wear ourselves out mentally because the conversations that are going on in our mind is, I'm not good enough. I'm not loved. I'm not accepted. I'm not getting it right. I'm not meeting this idealized standard that I've set for myself, and that I feel if I can attain, I will be accepted and loved in the world. And so that's an inner problem. And we'll continually, forever, wear ourselves out and down in order to live that lie and live that cycle. And it will never stop unless you stop it. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do is become aware. This always comes back to aware. Become aware. Really think, where am I doing this in my life? Big and small and little. Where are the little areas all day long as I go through things? Where are these areas that I'm trying to get it right? That I'm working harder than I need to be? That I'm wearing myself out in order to meet this standard that I feel I must meet? This invisible standard that I feel I feel I must meet. And then to become aware that it's simply because you want love and acceptance and validation. And what you really want is to be able to get it done and to feel it's behind you so that you can sit down and be yourself and rest. And you feel like you don't have the it's not allowed until you reach a certain way, until you've done a certain thing. Maybe you feel like you're not allowed to take a break, to rest, to enjoy yourself, right? To take a break, to just be you, to take it off your shoulders until you've done this thing, met this standard. And so we're always in this perpetual state of working and wearing ourselves down. And what you really want is just to get there so that you can take it off your shoulders and sit down and be yourself and just let the responsibility go. Isn't that what you want? You don't want the responsibility. You don't even really want to get it right or to attain it. You just want the feeling of being loved and accepted just the way you are, so that you can let go of all the responsibilities and all the work and all the things that are tiring you out and wearing you out, so that you can be yourself and be happy and just enjoy life. Isn't that what you're waiting for? Permission to enjoy life. And you feel like if you attain a certain level of things, then you will be allowed somehow by the magic powers to, you've done enough, you're accepted, you have no more left to prove. You can now live happily ever after. You can now start to enjoy your life, right? But we can't enjoy it until we get there, this magical place that we will never realize. You will never get there, never, unless you just wake up one day and say, I'm here, I am good enough, I'm accepted the way I am. Today is the day I get to be myself, I get to be happy, I get to be joyful, I get to take it off my shoulders, I get to have a break, and this is it. I'm perfect. I am perfect. I've lived up to everything I need to live up to. And I know if internally you feel like a failure and you feel like you haven't, this is where that internal conflict work needs to come out. Part of you wants to feel good enough, and part of you feels shame and like you're not good enough. You haven't done enough to earn love. But let me just remind you, you need to journal about this work. You need to do the fragmentation work here. You need to become whole again. So if you haven't watched my videos on fragmentation, please go back and watch them. They're really important work, because there's two parts of yourselves at war here. And once you can become whole again, you can give yourself the gift of arriving, of I've done enough, I am enough, I'm perfection, I am love, and I get to be me now. That's a wonderful gift to give to the world, to just be me and to take the responsibility and the pressure and the tension off my shoulders, because none of that matters except to be the best me that I can be, and I don't have anything to prove, not even to myself. Just being me is good enough. And when you can get there, when you can truly get there, and that's one of the hardest places to get for anyone, when you can get to the spot that being me without having to change, without having to put on the right clothes, put on the right makeup, do your hair, have a certain job, live in a certain house, do this certain thing, be the certain weight, be a certain kind of parent, whatever it is. Just being you is enough, and you're loved and you're valued and you're respected by the universe because you're you. That's enough. And when you truly feel that's enough, then you have arrived, and all that pressure will melt away. All that pressure will just be gone. And that's what we're looking for, is to get the tension, the pressure to melt away, to stop striving for perfection, and to meet this idealized standard in your mind that was set simply because you want to not be a failure, because you don't want to be abandoned or rejected or criticized or judged by anyone in the world or the people that love you or are closest to you. You don't want to be a disappointment. You want to feel good enough. So you can give that gift to yourself. You can do the work. And when you feel good enough, you will be good enough to be you. And when you're just you, with nothing left to prove, the weight will fall off. So I hope this video has given you something to think about, and I'll see you in the next one.